Before this video gets started, I want to apologize if you guys can hear anything whirring in the background. I've actually got 3 fans on me at this moment. A ceiling fan, a fan over here to my left, and a small fan to my right. The AC in my house went out, and needless to say, it is a little hot down here in the man cave. And heat and being a big guy produces a lot of sweat. So to save you guys from watching me profusely perspire throughout this entire video, I've had to basically cover every inch of my body in some form of fan blowing onto it. Hey, what's up, people? Piz out here, and today I want to talk to you guys about 1985's Weird Science, directed by John Hughes. Now, this is partially going to be a review of the movie as well as a review of this new Arrow Video Blu-ray release for the film. And Weird Science is an odd film in the John Hughes canon. And it's part of the reason why I've always liked this movie, and it's a big reason why I really like this movie today. Now, if you look back over the John Hughes filmography, you find movies like 16 Candles, you find movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, like The Breakfast Club, on and on and on. A lot of great 80s teen comedies. They were a little ribald, but they all had a heart. They all had a sense of a conscience. In the case of Weird Science, and I'm not saying that this movie doesn't have a heart, but with Weird Science, it's as if John Hughes just said, you know what? This is just going to be every young man's fantasy coming to life. I'm going to push the boundaries of this PG-13 rating. I'm going to make it very ribald. I'm going to make it very not PC. I'm going to try to offend people with this movie. And that's a big part of the reason why I've always enjoyed Weird Science, and why I really enjoy it even more, I think, now, because this is a movie that would not be made today. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised. There are a lot of movies from the 80s that I'm shocked that people today have not sort of singled out to try and eradicate their existence. And Weird Science is one of those movies, and God bless it for being so. Now, the movie revolves around these 2 high school losers who just can't catch a break with the ladies. They can't catch a break with the cool kids. They're picked on, they're bullied, they're nerds, they're dweebs, they're just not cool kids. Women don't pay them any attention, so they decide to make the perfect woman, and they do so on a computer. And that perfect woman being Kelly LeBrock. And Kelly LeBrock in 1985 was, that was an excellent casting choice. Let's just put it that way. And Weird Science is a movie that is just, whereas like The Breakfast Club and 16 Candles were sort of kind-hearted movies that were very much set in reality, Weird Science is, it's kind-hearted too, but it is set in a world where reality does not exist. There is no, this thing is just completely over the top, ridiculous, absurd, and it wallows in all of those things. This movie is proudly ridiculous, ardently absurd, and even one-ups itself in going over the top as the movie progresses. And just a few of the moments in this film that could not happen today involve a 15-year-old or 2 15-year-old young men taking a shower with a very adult, beautiful, nude Kelly LeBrock, or one of the 15-year-old young men actually making out with Kelly LeBrock, or one of the 15-year-old men hanging out in a bar, drinking, talking about how an even younger girl broke his heart and how much he loved certain parts of her anatomy. There's all sorts of dialogue in this film that would just not at all fly today. There are all sorts of situations in this movie that would just not fly at all today. This movie has an attitude about it that just would not fly at all today. And watching this kind of movie, I hate to sound like, that guy who's like, oh, movies were so much better back then, but here it is. This is a better teen comedy than anything that we've gotten in the past. Name me a good teen comedy. Here's the challenge. Name me 5 good teen comedies of the last 10 years. 5. Name me 3. Name me 3. I've always really enjoyed Weird Science because, again, it's like the young man's fantasy. And it's one of the great things about John Hughes is that he was able to tap into the heart of the loner and the outcast and the nerd and the dweeb and make them the star of his movie and give them everything, particularly in the case of Weird Science, that they just in their wildest dreams could never imagine, i.e. taking a shower with a very nude Kelly LeBrock of 1985. So this movie, on one hand, definitely fits into the John Hughes canon. However, on the other hand, it kind of doesn't. It kind of sticks out, and I don't know. I love it for both of those reasons. This movie has a phenomenal cast in it. Anthony Michael Hall, Kelly LeBrock, Bill Paxton. Oh, it's so hard to believe that Bill Paxton is no longer with us. Oh my God, he's such a great actor. Portrayed so many amazing characters. Just so sad that he's no longer with us. Robert Downey Jr. is in this film. Robert Russler, Judy Aronson from Friday the 13th Part 4, Samantha Snyder, I believe is her name, from Return of the Living Dead Part 2, as well as a bunch of other 80s movies. So a lot of recognizable faces in the cast of this movie, and all of the cast deliver phenomenal performances. The soundtrack for Weird Science is fantastic. It's just 80s to the hilt. This is very much a film of its time in that it is very, 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 very 1980s, yet at the same time it taps into those timeless. That's what's so great about John Hughes's films, because they're very much of their time. They're time capsules of the 80s. However, there's something about those movies and the characters that just, Hughes was able to tap into this timeless quality. We've all felt like the outsider. We've all felt like, the nerd, the dweeb, the guy who doesn't get the girl. He was able to write those characters and just tap into that part of all of us so seemingly effortlessly. And that's why his films are just timeless. And it's too bad that John Hughes did not make more films, and it's too bad that John Hughes is no longer with us to make more films. If you've not seen Weird Science, I highly, highly recommend it. This Blu-ray from Arrow Video would be a great way to introduce yourself to the film. If you are a fan of Weird Science, you definitely want to look into picking up this Blu-ray release from Arrow Video. Take those other Universal Blu-ray releases and just chuck those out the window, frisbee them right out the door, go out and pick up this Arrow Video Blu-ray release for the film. It is definitely worth it. First, let's check out the presentation here. I love this slipcover. I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. The artwork here is just absolutely beautiful. I love the coloring. I love how it's got this kind of shine to it. The slipcase also feels fantastic. It's got this kind of matte feel to it that just, I don't know, it's just a really great feeling texture, but this is a phenomenal slipcase. The sleeve inside has the same artwork on it, but you can reverse the sleeve to feature the classic poster art for Weird Science. This release also comes with a very nice booklet featuring 2 write-ups about Weird Science entitled Electric Venus, or How I Learned to Stop Caring and Love Weird Science by Alexandra Heller-Nicholas, and Pictures from a Magazine reflecting on EC Comics' influence on Weird Science by Amanda Reyes. This booklet also features some really nice color images from the film. As far as the picture quality and sound quality are concerned, this release sports a new restoration by Arrow Films from a 4K scan of the original negative. I thought the picture quality on this release was fantastic. There is a lot of grain. It's not enough grain to kind of obstruct the image, but it's enough grain to remind you that this movie was actually shot on film, and it kind of gives the film, I don't know, it gives it almost an authenticity. That's the only word that kind of comes to mind. But I thought the picture quality on this release looked absolutely fantastic. I would give it a solid 4 out of 5. Same with the audio quality. It sounded great, so I'd give it also a 4 out of 5. The Blu-ray looks great. It sounds great. As far as the extras are concerned, this release features 3 different versions of Weird Science: the theatrical cut, the extended cut, and the edited for TV version of the film. We get the additional scenes from the extended cut that you can watch in isolation. It's 2 minutes and 45 seconds of additional footage. I actually watched the extended cut of the film, which included these extra 2 minutes and 45 seconds. We get Casting Weird Science, an all-new interview with casting director Jackie Birch. It's 6 minutes and 3 seconds in length. Ms. Birch discusses initially casting Robin Wright as Lisa, the Kelly LeBrock character, in Weird Science, before casting Kelly LeBrock. And it was interesting because it was actually between Sharon Stone and Kelly LeBrock for that role. Even though I think Sharon Stone is a good actress, I think they definitely made the right choice casting Kelly LeBrock as Lisa in Weird Science. Ms. Birch also discusses casting Anthony Michael Hall, Ian Mitchell Smith, Bill Paxton, Robert Rustler, Robert Downey Jr., and the rest of the main cast. She discusses working with John Hughes, Joel Silver, and more. Very nice interview with Ms. Birch. Next up, we get Dino the Geek, a new interview with actor John Capellos. It's 6 minutes and 55 seconds in length. Mr. Capellos discusses his character in Weird Science and working with John Hughes and the cast in the film. He also discusses the impact John Hughes had on filmmaking and society in general. Very nice interview. Next up, we get Chet Happens, a new interview with special effects creator Craig Reardon. It's 19 minutes and 38 seconds in length. Mr. Reardon discusses first meeting John Hughes about creating the Chet Blob for Weird Science. He discusses developing the design of the Chet Blob and meeting Bill Paxton to do his live cast. And he discusses how dread-filled Bill Paxton was to have his entire face covered for the mold. He discusses makeup effects he created for Robert Rustler and Robert Downey Jr.'s characters that didn't make the film, and much more. Very nice interview with Mr. Reardon. Next up, we get Fantasy and Microchips, a new interview with editor Chris Lebinson. It's 10 minutes and 46 seconds in length. Mr. Lebinson discusses how he got into editing and how he got the gig to be one of the editors on Weird Science. He discusses working with John Hughes and how kind Mr. Hughes was. He discusses working with Joel Silver, all the great one-liners in the film, and how Weird Science was the springboard for his editing career. Next up, we get Ira Newborn Makes the Scene, a new interview with composer Ira Newborn. It's 13 minutes and 43 seconds in length. Mr. Newborn discusses how the title of the film influenced his writing of the music for the film. He discusses working with John Hughes and Joel Silver, and he also discusses getting caught in the middle of a fight between Hughes and Silver over the music and more. Very entertaining interview with Mr. Newborn. Next up, we get It's Alive, Resurrecting Weird Science. It's an archival featurette produced for the film's 2008 DVD release. It's 16 minutes and 41 seconds in length. It includes interviews with Anthony Michael Hall, Diablo Cody, John Capellos, Amy Heckerling, Michael Layman, Ali Sheedy, and more. We also get a theatrical teaser, a theatrical trailer, we get TV spots, radio spots, and an image gallery. This is an excellent Blu-ray release for Weird Science from the fine folks over at Arrow Video. You've got great picture quality and sound quality, some really nice extras on here as well, and I just love the presentation. I love the artwork on the slipcase. This is a really, really cool release for Weird Science from Arrow Video. I'll post a link to Arrow Video's website in the description. Go over and check them out. If you've seen Weird Science, let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. Let me know what your favorite John Hughes film is down in the comment section below, and let me know what your favorite 80s teen comedy is down in the comment section below. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. They're also right around here. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. Join the $1 a month club and help support my channel on Patreon. Thank you to my current patrons: Kevin Smythe, Orc145626, B-Movie Mike, Robert Sobel, Turi Delamore, Stephen Flanagan, Lori Holt, Craig Farrand, Farron Sutton, Jeremiah Lambert, Grindhouse Grotto, Derek Jana, Demon Waffles, Simon Clark, Stone Gassman, Zachary Barton, Lauren Dixon, James Welch, Eli Geisler, Jeff Overing, Pete Toll, Kyle McGuire, Jay the Stingray, Andrew McDonald, Dave Barnes, Jonathan Lundy, Chris Gonzalez, Trenton Bowser, Jason Breitenbach, Brandon Bisdick, Steak Sauce, OG Myers, Mark Striano, Jeff Gardner, Travis Davis, and The Obsoletionist. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.